What's up, guys? Welcome back to Legit Street Cars. My name is Alex, and here's what's been going on in the garage since the last video. After replacing the AC line, among other totally buried parts on the C63, I had to charge the system back up, especially since we're going for a nice, long, and peaceful drive in today's video, going exactly the posted speed limit. I'm not totally sure, but something tells me you won't be able to hear a word I say with the windows down. So since the system is totally empty, I first replaced the receiver dryer or desiccant bag. This is a replaceable insert on these cars. So you just remove the old nasty one from the canister and install your new one. This captures the moisture in the system and should be replaced when the system has been opened. After that, I hooked up my vacuum pump, pulled her down to 30 inches of mercury, and let her bake for an hour to get all of the moisture out. This was a perfect time to de-rice the left-hand side of the car, so I removed all of the professional racing stickers from the driver's side door and then removed all the green wrap off the calipers, which is surprisingly very time-consuming even with the blow dryer. Next, I connected my fitting to the first can of refrigerant, purged the line, and started to fill. Keep in mind you'll need a scale doing it this way, and there isn't a way to recover refrigerant, so it only works if the system is bone dry, like if you have a massive leak. This is out of control. I keep on finding green caliper wrap, gold tape, black stickers all over the garage. I really got to clean this place up. But with all of that, the C63 is almost ready to take its maiden voyage. At least it's maiden voyage where I can go past an 8th throttle, because with the broken engine mount and the bad power steering pump, I'd been babying this car, which is eating me alive, to be honest with you. But before we do that, we have to replace this. It's a dented in transmission pan. The previous owner had ran something over, dented the pan, and even though it ships perfectly fine, I want to replace it and do a complete transmission service on this car. So my guys at FCP Euro hooked me up with their 722.9 7-speed transmission service kit, and it includes everything you need, including the filter, the pan gasket, all the fluid, all the bolts, and everything, so you can do this at home and save yourself a bunch of cash, and then go take that cash and spend it on more parts for your car that are probably broken, or performance parts, or I guess you can spend it on your kids' really expensive college. Okay, so speaking of college and education, not all of it has to be really expensive. I learn a ton here on YouTube, like I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. But recently, I've stepped up my at-home schooling game with a site that I think you guys are really gonna love, called Skillshare.com. Skillshare.com is an online learning community with more than 25,000 classes in design, business, and just about everything in between. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or further your career, Skillshare has a class for you. Right now, I'm taking a much-needed course on organization and productivity to help me juggle my family, my full-time job, and my growing YouTube channel. If you guys have a lot going on, I highly recommend this one. The instructor, Carl, also talks about being prepared for the inevitable automation of even more jobs in the near future, and that kind of stuff really interests me. Skillshare is also super affordable, with annual subscriptions starting at only $10 a month, and a premium subscription gets you unlimited access to take all of their classes. Now, the best part is the first 500 of you guys to click on my link in the video description box down below will get 2 full months of premium access totally free. There are over 7 million people learning on Skillshare, including myself, and I really hope that you guys check it out. Big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Now let's get to replacing that transmission pan and then going for a nice leisurely afternoon cruise. All right, guys, let's get to work on replacing the transmission pan and doing our transmission service. So our first step is to simply drain the transmission fluid. And I like to put a piece of cardboard on the ground, because even though we're gonna be draining most of it from this plug right here, if your drain pan is not large enough, once you remove the transmission pan, it's gonna get all over the place. And look at this bolt. It is quite rusted, so let me show you what I'm gonna do so we don't totally destroy this trying to get it out. All right, guys, if you have a really rusted drain plug, sometimes your tool won't go in all the way, and what you wanna do is just kind of hammer it in like this and make sure it goes all the way through, so you're getting as much bite as possible and you don't strip that out. Then you'd be in pretty rough shape there. So let's see what happens. Oh, that's pretty easy. So this transmission service was actually done at the Mercedes-Benz dealership not too long ago, so I'm not anticipating the fluid to be super dirty. It's a little dirty. But as you can see right here, we're not getting all that much fluid out just by pulling the pan plug. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't filled properly. Watch this. So what we have to do is pop this little plastic sleeve that's inside of here. As soon as we do that, there you go. We'll get all the rest of the fluid out of the drain pan, and I'll show you why that's in there here in a minute once we drop this. Okay, before you drop the transmission pan, there is just a bracket right here that you have to get out of the way. That one's a T30, and then up top is an E12 you have to remove. At that point, you can kind of move this bracket around a little bit out of your way. And then you just have your 6 E10s that hold the transmission pan in. I always save the center ones for last. Then just hold the pan on the last one. Put your tool away, and you're coming down. Okay, with the trans pan out of the way, this filter is not bolted in or anything. You just kind of pull it, and you get fluid on your cardboard. And there goes your filter. Now we're just gonna go ahead, kind of clean this a little bit, put the new filter back on, then I'll show you the inside of that pan. All right, I put a little bit of oil right here on the seal for the filter, and then you basically just pop this thing in. That's it, just like that. Okay, so from the inside, we can see where it was dented in right here. Not very pretty, but it didn't damage the valve body or anything. So in order to drain all the fluid, this is what I knocked out that fell in the inside of the pan so all the fluid could come out. And then you get a new one, and it just snaps in just like that. So this is actually going to set your level. We're going to get the transmission warmed up to a very specific temperature, and then we're actually going to let it drain out. And right when it stops draining out, we know that the fluid is hovering basically right below here, and that's it. That's how you set the fluid. So with this transmission, you do have to replace the bolts. They are one-time use, and then you definitely want to put a new pan gasket on there as well. All right, then we're just going to go ahead and reinstall the pan now that we have our new gasket on it. So you just want to start all of these by hand, quite a few threads. Once you have all the bolts started by hand, just push up on the valve body and then get out your E10 on your most powerful electric impact, or you could use like a 1/2 inch air impact and just go nuts. I'm just kidding, do not freak out. Guys, these things will snap in half. It's only 4 Newton meters and I think 180 degrees of a turn. I'll put all the specs in the video description box, but just gently suck these up. Don't go crazy. That's it, guys. This is 35 inch-pounds to start. Okay, so after your 4 Newton meters, you're just going to do 180 degrees or a 1/2 turn. From there, we're going to be pumping our transmission fluid into the pan using a very inexpensive fluid transfer pump. So one hose will go to our bottle, the other hose will go to the fitting on the trans pan. I'll leave a link for that down below as well. I think it was like 15 bucks. And then we're going to be pumping in 6 liters of the red Pentison ATF 134. Now make sure you know which color fluid you're putting in your car. I believe before 2011 it was red, and then afterwards, if you see here, it says FE. That is a blue fluid, so make sure you're putting the right fluid in your car. From what I understand, you can't mix the blue and the red. So if you guys buy one of these fluid transfer pumps, make sure to only use one of them for transmission fluid. You don't want to use this on engine oil or differential fluid and then get remnants of that inside of your transmission. So this one is just for transmission fluid, and it goes really, really quick. Make sure to get it all. This stuff is expensive. All right, we're totally empty. Let's put the other liter in. Okay, so at this point, we just want to be really quick about it, remove our tool, and put our drain plug in with our brand new washer. Don't want to lose too much fluid just yet. All right. Oop. Here is the special tool you saw screwed into the bottom of the transmission pan. You can buy this individually for about $10 on Amazon, but for a few bucks more, I bought a set that covers a few other models. So I'll leave a couple links in the video description box so you can buy whichever one you'd like. Okay, we're just gonna snug it up a little bit. We're gonna start the engine, and then open this again with it running. This is the crazy part. Oh guys, and there is another option. You can drain the torque converter. See this little cap right here? You take this bracket out, remove the cap, spin the engine, and you can get to a screw that you can drain the torque converter on some of these. And I think that requires another 4 liters or so. Okay, so next up we have to start the engine and warm up the transmission to 45 degrees Celsius or 113 degrees Fahrenheit. We're at 86. And then at that point we can pop that drain plug and I'll show you what to do. All right, guys, we're at 113 degrees. We gotta act quick. So all we're doing is we're gonna drain the fluid while it's running until basically it stops, until that level is right there at that top of that little tube. So we're still going, we're still going. As soon as it starts to kind of spatter a little bit, we know we're right there. All right, we're right at that brim. A little bit more. All right. Some people will go a little bit longer. I think that's pretty good. So we know that the fluid is right at the top of that tube, and it's set. It's just got to be at 113 degrees Fahrenheit. That's it. Let's go for a ride. Here we go. Let's put it in the AMG screen. This will kind of flash at you if your oil temperature is not up to snuff, but we are ready to rock and roll. All right, here we go, guys. Maiden Voyage. And oh my gosh, this thing is so loud. It is ridiculous. Now, I know in California, they have a bunch of laws against exhaust noise. This would be one of the most illegal cars in California. Oh my gosh. So while we are driving to our forest preserve destination, let me just tell you guys kind of a little recap of what's going on here. So this car is basically straight piped. We have the factory exhaust manifolds and the factory cats, but it also has a Euro charged V7 tune. This is like kind of an expensive tune. I think like $1,200 or something like that. And it came with the purchase of the car. I have a little handheld thing in the back, and I think you can get retunes if you do any other performance modifications. So we do have the long tube headers and the E85 on the way. So then I'll get it kind of like reflashed for that stuff too. The feel is so much different than the E55. I'm using these paddles. They don't work in my E55, so this is kind of new to me. And I think with this tune, hang on a second. I think with this tune, when you hit the brake, it'll kind of like rev match. And then when I'm decelerating a lot, there's some popping and crackling going on. I don't know if that was done in the tune as well, or if it's just because this thing basically has open exhaust. All right, guys, we've made it to the forest preserve. Going about 30. It's my first time. Nice. I gotta say, the shifting in this car is a lot faster than in my E55. So this has, oh, you hear that? So this still has the torque converter 7-speed transmission. So it's not the quickest shifting in the world, but it blows the 722.6 out of the water, and this thing feels quick, man. I really like the shifts on this thing. It feels fantastic, and it's always felt this way. It wasn't just because we did the fluid change and filter, but hang on. You guys gotta hear this from outside. I use the paddles. This thing shifts awesome. God, some people say these are kind of slow. No way. Maybe I'm just used to the really slow shifting E55 and CDI, but this feels awesome. I could see how you could break motor mounts in this thing though, for sure, especially playing around with the paddle shifters. This is a lot of fun. All right, I got to do that again. This is awesome. Oh my gosh, 8,500 bucks for this car. We fixed up a few things in it. It is an absolute beast. I'm stuttering while I'm talking. I'm kind of a little scared of this thing. Now, this has 440 wheel horsepower. The guy before me had it dynoed with the V7 tune, so naturally aspirated. That is not bad at all. And what's crazy is this thing revs just really high. I think I was shifting it, I honestly don't even know, but I think I was shifting it at like 7,500 RPM. I missed one. So apparently the manual paddle shifters in this car will let you mess up. In some of the older Mercedes-Benz with the paddle shifters, even if you didn't shift, it would shift for you, or it would just cut the throttle. It was kind of like really fake. So this one will actually let you bounce the limiter, which you obviously do not want to do. But 440 naturally aspirated horsepower. Sounds unbelievable. Oh my gosh. I know I've been complaining that this thing is crazy loud. All right, hang on, let me just put this in regular. There we go, I'm gonna get arrested. I know I've been complaining this thing is just crazy loud, which it definitely is, but inside the car with the windows rolled up, it just sounds amazing. This has gotta be one of the best sounding naturally aspirated V8s out there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is there anything that sounds better than an M156? All right, let's do a second gear roll. Oh, that was weird. All the power cut off. We have inoperative traction control or something. Hang on a second. Pretty par for the course, right? Mercedes breaking down. Of course, it's got to be in my Maiden Voyage video. Check this out. So we have tire pressure inoperative, no big deal. And then we have, there we go, that right there. And the accelerator pedal has a massive delay. So I got my little launch scanner with me, Bluetooth, and we have a code for the pedal sensor, accelerator pedal, current and stored. So I'm gonna clear this out, and I think we're gonna have to replace the pedal. It is not connected directly to the throttle body on this car. So let's go ahead and clear. Okay, yes, I want to. All right, and that's it. Cleared fault memory complete. Let's go ahead and fire it up. We had a check engine light on there at 1.2. So anyway, let's continue on here, see if maybe I ease into the throttle if we won't get that. All right, so we're back. Let's see. Nope, it came right back on. Oh, wait a minute, hang on. Now we got a red battery light. Jesus, this whole thing is breaking down on me. Oh, this is horrible. Well, guys, it was fun while it lasted, but now we have a red battery light on. I popped the hood. We still have our belt attached, so that's a good sign. It's not showing any other signs of lights flickering or anything, and I went back, checked the battery. Now, when I got this car, I had to jump it quite a few times, even if it sat for a day or two, so I think the battery's shot, but I was taking a look at this, and right here, this wiring is cut right here. So I'll have to fix that and see if that helps us out. But either way, I'll have to do a load test, see what our alternator is up to. Seems to be running okay now. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive this thing home. And honestly, I think I'm just gonna pick up the E55 and take that to work. Ooh, she's been sitting for a while. I don't have any gas either. Oh yeah, look at that. Turkey and Havarti, a little transmission fluid, some coffee, and our trusty E55, and I'm off to work. So when I film videos, it's a little stressful. I get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I film till roughly 2 p.m. Then I gotta run to work and I get off at midnight. So these are kind of long days, and it doesn't help when your AMG car breaks, but the E55 is gonna get us to work. It's a beautiful day. I haven't driven this car in a very, very long time. So we're gonna have some fun with the E55, especially on our way home at midnight with a wide open highway, and a little bit of fun LegitStreetCars trivia. The first time I took out the black diesel for its Maiden Voyage video, the pedal sensor went bad. I couldn't go wide open throttle. I had to reshoot that part of the video the next day. And then there was another video where I was showing you guys, I don't even remember, something in the E55 where we're driving around through the forest preserve and whatnot, and the alternator went out, so I had to stop right then and there, get it home before it totally died, put a new alternator in, and then film that video the following week. So something about my cars and filming while driving around, the pedal sensor and the alternators, well, hopefully it's not the alternators, they don't like it. They don't like it. So anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, even though my car broke. It's not that big of a deal. We'll get it fixed up. I'll update you guys in a future video, of course, on what I found exactly. But yeah, as always, if you like this video, Hit the thumbs up button, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and most importantly, try to have a better day than me, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See you later, guys.